Doctor, before you performed the autopsy, did you check for a pulse? No. Did you check for blood pressure? No. Did you check for breathing? No. So, then is it possible that the patient was alive when you began the autopsy? No. How can you be so sure, doctor? Because his brain was sitting on my desk in a jar. But could the patient have still been alive, nevertheless? Yes, it is possible that he could have been alive and practicing law. I got into a fight with my auntie and she said, "At least I don't have to worry about my kid being a like your mom does." I hope I didn't upset you earlier. That was not my intention. You need to stop being so sensitive. I did not mean in a bad way. I just mean you gay people have a lot of drama. I tried to understand this bi shit you claim to be, but you teenagers make stuff up all the time. You're young, you will find a man. You can change. You used to be so clever. If you think you can't accept my help, don't come to Indy's birthday. I do not want you ruining the day. Hi Aunt Mary, don't worry about it. I know what you're like after a few bottles of wine. I can't make Indy's birthday, I'm afraid. I have a huge lesbian orgy that day, and me and the other have been planning it for months. By the way, how's your divorce going? I saw Uncle Lee with his new girlfriend. She's 20 years younger than you, right? Speak soon. From Mom. Charlotte Louise, what the fuck have you done now? From Dad. Why do I have 3 missed calls from your mom? From her cousin. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? How dare you speak to my mom like that? Thanks for contacting me. I try to be as responsive as possible. However, I get many inquiries about various aspects of physics. I respond as time permits. Please understand, this is an automatic response. Suck on my dick and balls, Donald. I am an expert in subatomic physics and I specialize in finding the smallest things known to man, but even I don't have the expertise of finding things that small. Regrets. What people need to understand is that the hashtag men are trash hashtag is directed towards toxic masculinity. If you're a nice, good man who's kind to women, it's not towards you. It's towards men who have abused/killed their partners countless of times. I fucking hate minorities. When I say minorities, I don't actually mean minorities. I mean minorities who kill and rob people. They break into our country, steal resources, then do shit like this. And libs still wonder why we are pushing for immigration controls. Those are Native Americans. I have an employee who always does everything faster than everyone else on the team and spends most of the day playing video games and not helping his coworkers. Do I fire him? So, you're considering to fire your one and only efficient and honest employee. Your other employees probably don't need any help. What likely happens is that they're more experienced than your fast employee, and they have already learned that letting a boss find out that the work can be done in less time only leads to punishment and unrewarded extra work or with dismissal. So, they pretend their tasks take the whole day. Your fast employee does all his daily tasks well and quickly and gets some spare time because he works well and fast. What is wrong with that? His spare time is his natural reward for being efficient. If you want to take his natural reward away from him, you should replace it with financial reward. It was arranged that he'd earn a certain amount for doing the tasks he's doing. If you want him to do more, like manage other people's work, you should also pay him more. If you punish him by firing him or giving him extra duties without raising his salary, you'll be teaching him to be exactly like your other employees and pretend that the work takes all day. Why straight men hate astrology so much. Vice, at Cornell University, they have an incredible piece of scientific equipment known as the tunneling electron microscope. Now, this microscope is so powerful that by firing electrons, you can actually see images of the atom, the infinitesimally minute building blocks of our universe. If I were using that microscope right now, I still wouldn't be able to locate my interest in your problem. I've got a dick and a knife, and one of them's going inside you. I'd prefer the knife because that way I'd actually feel it. As an employer, why shouldn't I be able to hire teens for free? What the F else are they going to do during the summer months? Me hiring them for free and maybe me receiving a stipend from the government for doing so means that I am keeping teens off the street, keeps the crime rate down, and prevents drug addiction in the future. F this stuff. These kids are also getting experience. I am effing educating them out of my pocket. Yes, I was fined today for not paying my staff a wage, and I'm effing pissed. I don't know, guys. He actually brings up some pretty interesting points. What do you think? Do you think we should allow child slave labor? Excuse me, I mean unpaid internships? Subject, wedding question. Hello, my fiance and I are looking for a wedding photographer, but are having some issues with the contracts we are coming across. We are wanting a clause that guarantees us a refund should we ever get divorced, since we would not need the photos in that situation. Please let me know if this is something you have in your contract or would be willing to add. Thank you. Hello, I absolutely love your pictures on here on your website. I heard about you from Blank and she had such amazing things to say. I'd love to take some pictures as soon as you can fit me in. Let me know ASAP. Hey there, I'm happy to hear that. And yes, I'll be happy to book you in as soon as I can. I'm a little busy the next couple weeks, but after that will work on my end. Just need a couple things first. Your preference of background, indoors or outdoors, how many people that will be in the shoot, and of course the date. Anytime between these dates. No, I need to have this done either today or tomorrow, please. It's for my family. So 3, me, my husband, and my daughter. Since it's winter, we'd love nature pics, and in spring and fall, we'll hire you again for all year-round collage. I'm sorry, but I'm doing an event at the Avalon through the rest of the week. The rest sounds good. The total for family group pictures comes to $400, and I edit 15. If you want any more than that, it costs $50 for every 15 more edited pictures. Wow, that's way too much. I can't afford that. My prices are right on my website and group page. I'm sorry, but that's what I charge. Come on, I'm an unemployed young mother. I don't have that kind of money. And I know you work for those big businesses because I saw Blank has your billboard up. Can't you use the thousands you get from them to cover some of mine? Please. Hello? Sorry, no. If I did that for you, I would have to lower my prices for everyone else. You're being such a jerk. Bye-bye. What? I need these done tomorrow. We have a fundraiser for my daughter. She has leukemia. I don't have any other family pictures to show. Please, it's for charity. Be generous for once. People normally book weeks in advance, just a heads up. Not that I need to explain myself, but I've actually done work for our Dakota Foundation. Anyways, I won't be begged to do charity. I'm sorry about your kid, but that doesn't change anything. I told you the dates I could work and the price. If you agree, great, but if not, then I wish you luck in your search. I can't believe you right now. How unprofessional. You don't even care about children with illnesses, do you? You know my husband works at Blank Law, right? You are going to meet me at Blank Park tomorrow at 3 and do everything for $100. If you don't, I'm going to spread the word around town about how you treat your clients and what a horrible photographer you are. Everyone knows everyone here, hun. I've been really nice this whole conversation, but you're nuts if you think blackmailing me is going to work. Stop messaging me. I'm not blackmailing you. That's just what's going to happen if you don't take my family pics. By the way, my husband will sue you for slander if you show anyone these messages. Uh-oh. This is a private conversation and you'll lose your witness license. All right. Okay, good. We'll be wearing 2 outfits and they will mostly be of my daughter Blank. 30 edited pictures. I'll need them done in less than a couple days. You can even put your watermark on 2 pics and I'll put them up at the fundraiser for everyone to see. Tomorrow at 3, Blank Park by the Blank Factory. We'll be there at 2 now, so you Neds to hurry yourself. Sorry, we just got here. Where are you? Hello? You better be here soon. I'm going to the police. We've been waiting forever. I'm going through with it right now if you don't show up in the next 10 minutes. Good for you. So you're coming then? Nope. Screw you, you effing jerk. I can find out where you live and I'll sue you for everything you have. You're going to regret this. Hey, is the watch still available? Yes, but I have a couple people interested. If they fall through, want me to let you know? No, it took you too long to get back to me. Thumbs up, which I assume they mean as thumbs up this video. Is it still available? If so, I can bring cash to you now, but I will only do 80 since I'm coming to you and you made me wait earlier. No, I just sold it a few minutes ago. Listing has been updated, thanks. Jesus, you suck at this. Sorry it didn't work out. Good luck in your search. Are you? This deal could have been done hours ago if you just answered your texts. So yeah, you suck at selling stuff on Craigslist. Okay, jerk. What do you mean how low? The price is firm, $1,200. I paid $2,800 for it originally, so you're getting a really good deal. I was thinking 800, and I can also give you some jewelry I make in exchange. I'm gonna have to pass, thanks. You don't realize how difficult it is to be a single mother around Christmas. My kids have been begging for this all year, and now I have to tell them that you let them down. Does it feel good knowing you ruined 2 kids' Christmases? I know it's a crazy concept, but I don't give a flip about your kids' Christmas. Hey, can I help you? Yes, you are still making logos? I heard that you're really good. Yes, I do. What kind of logo are you looking for, and what is your budget? I am looking for a logo for a new brand me and my friends are working on. It is a perfume brand. Sure, I can do that. I got some examples for some previous people. Do you want to see them? Sure. Insert example photos here. I like them. That's nice to hear. What's your budget? Well, we don't have money at the moment. That's sad to hear. Let me know if you got a budget. I think I can pay you in a different way. What do you mean? Well, you know. Oh, no, sorry. Listen, Brat, go make us a logo before you regret it. With just one effing post, I can ruin your entire business. Good luck further. F you. I will make my followers F you up. Okay, and you're blocked. Thank you for the amazing r/choosingbeggars content. F you.
Welcome to r/Am I the Devil? And this is a new subreddit, which I'm actually excited about because these stories are pretty good. This has no connection to r/Am I the Butthole or r/Am I Wrong? It just kind of sounds like it based on the title. Basically, this is a curated subreddit where they take stories from other subreddits, kind of like r/Best of Reddit or Updates, except the posters on these posts are awful human beings. One of the problems with Reddit is when someone makes a post and they are clearly in the wrong, people will downvote that post into oblivion, so you never see the post because they don't have any upvotes and they never make it to the top. Alternatively, a lot of people will delete their posts out of embarrassment after getting blasted in the comments. So this subreddit is a chance to see the worst of the worst human beings that Reddit has to offer. Would World War III balance out dating globally? This might get a lot of hate and downvotes depending on your views. Long story short, I used to ride for Uber, and I picked up hundreds and hundreds of people. I picked up multiple different older guys and gals too. Somehow, one way or another, the conversation would lead to them talking about how my old man served in World War II and ended up finding a gorgeous woman from country such and such and got married right away at home since all the men were dying and gone. Now, to clarify, I don't want World War III to start, but if it were to happen and it had the same damage as World War II with the lower younger male population down, wouldn't it basically fix or restore dating? What do you guys think? My dad and I had a long road trip. The conversation went to me talking about how dating in the US just sucks right now. He even said, "Your generation really needs a war." I think he's right. A lot of guys in my generation just smoke, drink, and play video games all day. And if a war were to happen, maybe it would help with my generation's outlook on life. But of course, a war is nothing to be proud about or hope for. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and my 24-year-old boyfriend blocked me for renewing my lease. What can I do to make things up to him? I'm hurt and betrayed. My boyfriend is a great person, and we've been together for 3 years. My boyfriend is very frugal. I would say too frugal. He graduated with a degree in computer science, and he's been making decent money since he graduated. When he graduated, he used the FHA loan for a humble but small townhome. I'm someone who differs in that I like luxury. Last year, I got a nice high-rise apartment in a major metropolitan area and signed a 14-month lease. With that, my rent was $4,100 a month. Eventually, with other bills, I wasn't able to afford it. My boyfriend's mortgage is really cheap because his place is extremely cheap. Mind you, his townhouse is only a 2-bedroom. My apartment is only a 1-bedroom, but that's what you expect. You're paying for the view, it's near the top, the concierge, and the luxury experience. My boyfriend and I had a talk because I needed his help. He would cover half of my rent, and then I would either move in with him or get a cheaper apartment. I could even stay in my same apartment building and switch to one of the cheaper rooms. I would have moved in with him, but not at his place. He agreed that he could move, but we still couldn't find a place that worked for both of us because he's so cheap. Anyway, I realized that him and I would be getting married soon, so it's better to renew my lease and enjoy the high-rise, nice luxury for one more year. I was dreading telling him, but last night I told him. He was pissed. He said, "So you expect me to pay half your rent again?" I told him, "Well, obviously." He said, "Have you considered that I like nice things too? But it's hard to do that when I'm sending you $2,500 a month." Wait, hold up. $2,500 a month is not half of $4,100. That's half of $5,000. Does that mean that OP told her boyfriend that it's $5,000 a month and she's pocketing the extra $900 and he thinks he's paying half? Anyway, sorry, I just had to point out that detail that I noticed here. He said, "I would work with you if you were just bad at managing your personal finances and try to teach you. But it's worse than that. You're just selfish and you're trying to take advantage of me." I was angry at him accusing me of just trying to take advantage of him. That's not true at effing all. I love him, and the fact that he said that hurts. He just hung up and blocked me everywhere. I'm gonna head down to his townhouse today so that we can talk about this. Any suggestions? I'm a 28-year-old man, and I was manipulated into cheating on my wife, who's 28. How do we move forward through our relationship? Hey Reddit, I'm going through a tough time in my marriage. It all started because recently I entered a depression. My wife and I both have very demanding jobs. Recently, I had a new project that had me working longer hours, and that's what started my depression. Now, going through my depression, I started confiding in my coworker about how I was feeling. I thought I could trust her as a friend, but she knew that I was in a vulnerable state. She took advantage of my state, and this led to an affair. My wife found out, and we're going to counseling Monday, but this month, our marriage is on the ropes. I've been trying to get her to understand my depression and how low my mental health was, but she doesn't want to hear it. Anyways, after getting blasted, OP says, "At the end of the day, I was the one who cheated. It's my responsibility. That does not absolve that woman for taking advantage of someone she knows is going through a dark time." My fundamentalist Christian parents are telling my wife not to reconcile with me. My wife and I were married for 4 years. During that time, I had to open up our marriage. My wife agreed, but kept acting jealous. This led to me filing for divorce. Throughout my 6 months separated, I gained a greater appreciation for my lovely wife. Modern day dating is disgusting, even if you date overseas. A lot of women will pretend to like you for money. It's honestly disgusting. I didn't have to worry about that with my wife because she makes around the same as me. Slightly more, actually. Last week, I realized the love we have is special and decided to attempt reconciliation. She agreed, but unfortunately, my Christian fundamentalist parents are trying to undermine me. They're trying to convince her not to go through with it. My parents even told her, "We love our son, but he's not a good husband." I expected this from her parents, but my own parents? When I told my parents to stop meddling in my relationship, they blocked me. I had to call them back using no caller ID just to speak to my own dad and mom. This is disgusting. Alright, okay. So someone dug through OP's post history, and before this, OP also posted this. "My wife is ruining our marriage, and I don't know how to fix it. We have an open marriage, and her jealousy is showing. My wife and I have been together for 5 years, married for 2. She's been my rock. Last year, I realized that monogamy is not for me. I wasn't someone who had a chance to just have that fun phase, if you know what I mean. My glow up was late, and I started going to the gym and advancing in my career, so I had women interested in me who before wouldn't even look at me. I was honest with my wife and told her that we need to either open up the relationship or get a divorce. She was hurt, but I told her that I never got to live like others did, and she chose to stay and allow me to do that exploration. I told her that it wouldn't be emotional, just passionate hugging. Her actions are not following her words, and she acts extremely jealous and possessive, and it creates arguments. I've had to remind her that she should leave if she can't respect my boundaries. What really set me off is she told my parents, and they're fundamentalist Christians, so you know how that works. My weird religious family is on her side, and they've been annoying me by telling me to stop. It's a lot, so if anyone can help me, this is starting to stress me out, and I'm writing this before work instead of drinking my coffee. I was with my first wife, Amanda, for 8 years, and we have a beautiful daughter. Unfortunately, during our marriage, I fell in love with someone else. That woman ended up cheating on me and leaving me. I tried to maintain a friendship with Amanda because even though I realized I didn't love her, she was still my friend. Anyway, I was talking to a mutual friend and she told me that Amanda put herself out there and went on a date? She's been talking to this guy. After we got off the phone, I called Amanda, but she didn't answer. So I texted her, we need to talk. Amanda eventually calls back and I ask her about our daughter. Our daughter spent the weekend at my parents' house. She told me that she'll pick her up in the evening. I told her, this is a serious question. Are you still in love with me? She said, unfortunately, with an attitude. I said, then why would you think it's a good idea to date right now? She got angry and said that's none of my business. I told her I'm coming to you as a friend. Dating while still in love with me is not going to help. She said her therapist said that it's time to put herself out there. I told her her therapist sounds like a horrible therapist. She told me to shut up. She said, do you know how much this impacted me? She said, I loved you and always tried to be a great wife for you, and that wasn't good enough. I interrupted her on the phone and just said, Amanda. I then told her, I get it. When Marie left, my second wife, I couldn't even finish my sentence before she said, you're an effing prick. She hung up and blocked me on Facebook. I don't know, I'm trying to look out for her because she's the mother of my child. Our next Reddit post comes from r/trashy. My fiance has a 4-year-old daughter. Her mother passed away when she was born. He's been raising her on his own ever since he lost his wife. I'm now in the picture, and we're set to get married soon. I'm also 7 months pregnant with a precious little girl. I am not the stepmother type, and I know that I won't treat his daughter the same way that I'll treat our child. To be quite honest, she gets on my damn nerves. For one, the little girl looks just like her mother, and having her around constantly reminds my fiance of his dead wife. Second, she's very attached to her daddy, and I'm afraid this is going to take away from my child's bond with her father. I basically want to tell my fiance to get rid of her. She can go live with her grandparents, or we can find her a nice family that's looking to adopt a child. I don't know how to approach the situation, but I need to find a way to convince my fiance to let her go. I promise I'm not a bad person. I'm just trying to look out for my child and make sure she receives all of her daddy's attention without having her older sister intervene. Please help. OP, you promise you're not a bad person? Are you sure? Are you positive? You absolutely pinky swear cross your heart promise you're not a bad person? Because it definitely sounds like you're a bad person. Sounds like you're scum. Our next Reddit post comes from r/legal advice. A failed job applicant has accused our business of not hiring him or other black people because of their race. Can he sue us based on that accusation alone? Can we sue him for slandering our business? My brother and I own a small business that we built from scratch in college, and we're doing quite well. Recently, our manager left us to move out of state with his wife. He'd been a good friend of ours for a long time. He'd been with us since we first started the business. Up until now, we'd been hiring from among people that we personally know, or at the very least on the basis of recommendations from people that we know. There are many benefits to this. We know who we're dealing with, which is more important than on-paper qualifications. To our dismay, we had a rough time finding people who we not only liked, but also could do what needed to be done. So we posted an ad online. Of all the terrible applications we got, one application really stuck out. He didn't have social media, which was a red flag, but he was well qualified and I liked the way that he wrote, so I scheduled a meeting. As soon as he came in and introduced himself, it became apparent to me that he had misrepresented himself in his emails. And within 5 minutes, I was absolutely sure that he was not getting hired. His qualifications were good, but I just didn't like him, and he wouldn't fit in, so it wasn't happening. I rushed the interview along and got him out of my office, thinking that my actions had communicated my disinterest. We wound up promoting one of the guys that worked for us into the vacant position the next day, and easily replaced him in his previous role 2 days after that. About a week after the interview, the guy came back in and asked about his job. I told him a version of the truth, that he didn't seem to be a good fit and we'd already filled the position. Instead of graciously accepting what he should have already known, this guy had a tantrum. He accused me of not hiring him because he was black, called us racist who would rather hire a less qualified white man over a black man with an MBA, and said that it's obvious that we discriminate because all of our employees are white, and there's no excuse for that in Chicago. I told him that the reason that he wasn't hired was because I didn't like his attitude, and I didn't think that he was a good fit, and that going to school and getting pieces of paper aren't the only things that make someone qualified. I then told him to leave before I called the cops, and then he threatened to sue us and called me a racist B-word. Does it sound like he has any grounds to sue us? Do we have grounds to sue him for slandering our business? I could really care less about the accusation itself, but it could hurt our reputation. Regardless of what goes on in our heads, or what my brother and I say in private conversations with one another or with our wives, we have never given any public indication that we discriminate in our hiring process. Every time we have to turn away this is in quotation marks, guys, turn away a bad fit, we've always given them a plausible reason, and we've never been stupid enough to say to the applicant what we say to ourselves or one another. The composition of our workplace relative to the demographics of the area can be explained by the fact that we mostly hire from among our friends and family. But I don't think that needs to be explained, since this is a private entity and we're not bound to any sort of racial quota. Our next Reddit post comes from r/Am-I-Overreacting. My wife and I are in our 30s. We've been married for 2 years. When we got married, we moved to a nice small house in the suburbs. Last summer, we got a new mailman who's objectively attractive. I'm not going to go into detail, but he looks good. Towards the end of summer, I noticed that my wife was almost always outside the time that he would bring mail. I actually started tracking when she would go outside on a spreadsheet. She averaged going out about 20 minutes before the mail would get here. Obviously, there was some variation because the mail didn't come at the exact time each day, but it was weird. She would work on our front patio and then have a short conversation with the mailman. Then, after an average amount of 7 minutes, she would come back inside and work from her office. Another thing I noticed is that her clothes seemed to change when she went outside. Almost 70% of the time she would have a tank top on. Then, she would put a shirt over that when she came back inside. I didn't say anything as fall and winter came, and we live in a cold climate, so she stopped going out. Once in a while, she would go say hi to him, but not like in the summer. She also gave him a very nice tip for Christmas, $250. I had forgotten all about this until it started getting warmer out with spring. I couldn't do another summer of this, so I decided to go talk to her. Last night, I sat her down and showed her all the information from last year. I explained that I didn't feel comfortable with how much attention she gave the mailman, and I asked if she could not do it this summer. She didn't understand, or maybe she didn't understand the numbers. She got very upset and started yelling that she didn't do anything wrong and just happened to be out there while he was out there. I tried to show her the numbers again, but she got upset and slammed the computer lid on my finger. At that point, I was upset, so I walked out and went for a walk. When I got home, she was gone and wouldn't answer her phone. She finally came home, but she wouldn't talk to me. She slept on the couch, and I honestly didn't get any sleep. It's been a very weird day, as she's only talking to me when absolutely needed. Otherwise, she's distant and won't talk to me. Am I overreacting, or is it normal for women to talk to the mailman? Am I the bad guy for refusing to help my neighbors and her 2 young children when their wipers were frozen? I'm a 59-year-old man who lives in a major city in Ontario, Canada. I live in a small subdivision with only 5 neighbors total on my street. For the past few years, during the winter, when we're getting a lot of snow or bad storms, as I'm leaving for my overnight shift at around 8 to 9 p.m., I'll put my wife's windshield wipers up on her car and do a quick walk around to my other 5 neighbors and put their windshield wipers up on their cars as well. I obviously won't do it if they're outside or something, but I will if it looks like they're inside for the night. Many of them forget to do this because they have small kids and typically it slips their mind. And as a result, their wipers will be frozen to their car in the morning. It's just something nice I like to do to look out for my neighbors. They're always grateful of this and thank me for it. Many of them started doing it too, and there will be nights when I'll forget to put mine and my wife's up, and in the morning, one of the neighbors has done it for us. Anyway, recently, one of our neighbors moved, and a new family moved in last week. It's a young couple and their 2 young kids. The other night, I was leaving for my overnight shift at around 9 p.m. It was snowing really heavily, and we were supposed to be getting almost 30 centimeters of snow, and it was freezing out. So I put my wife's wipers up and do my usual quick walk around to the other neighbors. I was hesitant when I reached my new neighbor's house because I'd only introduced myself once, but I did it anyways. As I was putting up their second wiper on their pickup truck, the husband came charging out of his front door yelling, "Hey, what the F are you doing to my truck?" I tried to explain to him that I was just putting his wipers up to help him. He continued to scream at me to get the hell off my property and don't touch my stuff again. Then the wife came out and started yelling at me too. I apologized and started walking away. Some of my other neighbors heard the commotion and came outside to see what was happening. They tried explaining to him too that it's just something we do, but both of them were not having it. Fast forward to this morning. I'm arriving home from my overnight shift, and as I'm walking in, I see the wife of this couple struggling outside to break the ice off the windshield wipers of the truck. I guess she was trying to take her kids to school, and the wipers were frozen solid on the car. She sees me and yells over, "Hey there, do you mind giving me a hand, please?" I look over to her and yell back, "No, sorry, I thought that I was never to touch your stuff again, ma'am," and walked back inside. She yelled back at me, "Wow, wow, 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 The AH is in capitals. Wow, Is this a Canadian thing? Wait, what is this? What did I just read? She yelled back at me, "Wow, I told my wife about this, and she thinks I should have helped her because she was just trying to get her kids to school. I disagree because I was just following what they told me. Am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for telling someone they're selfish for asking a 22-year-old to become a child's guardian? I'm a 22-year-old woman, and my boyfriend, Malcolm, who's 22, has a half-sister, Alina, who's 12. Malcolm and Alina have the same dad, but he's not involved in their lives. Their moms became close friends, and they were raised seeing one another. Malcolm's mom moved abroad a couple of years ago. Alina's mom, Sandra, was diagnosed with cancer last year. She went through treatment, but it's been determined that there's nothing they can do but make her comfortable. Sandra will pass sometime this year. She has no other family. Malcolm has spent a lot of time caring for Alina, driving her to school, making them meals, etc. Recently, Malcolm sat me down. He said that Sandra asked to speak to him. She said that she understood if the answer was no, but asked for him to take on the custody of Alina sooner rather than later, that way she could adjust to him being her guardian before she passes. Malcolm would move in with them. Sandra has a sizable life insurance policy and an account to help him care for Alina. To my surprise, he agreed to all of this without consulting me. I pointed this out, and he said that we've only been together for 6 months. I asked, didn't he feel too young for all this? Oh, geez. Yeah, okay. Never mind the 12-year-old girl losing her only parent. Don't you think maybe she's too young for this OP? Okay, sorry. Oh, what a hypocritical, douchey thing to say. All right. My boyfriend said, yeah, sort of, but I'll do it for Alina. Without further discussion, he subleased his apartment and moved in with Sandra and Alina. Saturday, I stopped by to pick up Malcolm for lunch. He hadn't returned from work yet, so I was waiting with Sandra. We were making small talk, and she mentioned how grateful she was for Malcolm and that he was a sweet boy. I asked if he was really her only option. I mentioned Malcolm's mom. Sandra said that Elena is losing enough, so she doesn't want to force her to move abroad on top of everything else. She also doesn't feel right asking Malcolm's mom to move back. I said that I found the whole thing a little selfish. Malcolm is only 22. He shouldn't be tied down raising a child. Sandra got defensive and said that she wished she didn't have to ask him. Plus, he said yes. I asked, what else was he supposed to say? Sandra told me that I was upsetting her and asked me to leave. Malcolm called me later, screaming at me. He said that I upset Sandra. I said that I was trying to defend him and point out options that she may not have thought of. Malcolm told me to butt out and to get on board with this or walk away. He hasn't spoken to me since. I saw Elena at the mall on Sunday, and she ignored me. My mom told me that I screwed up big time. Am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for telling my daughter that she was being a brat after she cried about blowing out her birthday candles? I have 4 kids, ages 23, 20, 16, and 13. This concerns my oldest, Zara. We don't normally do big parties in our family after people get older, but Zara has been going through a bit of a difficult time, so we decided to throw her a surprise party. This was yesterday. It was a big family party, and Zara was enjoying it. Then we brought out the cake. I have a lot of young nieces and nephews, so naturally they wanted to stand up with Zara, and she had no issues with that. When she went to blow out the candles, my 5-year-old niece blew out most of them before her. Everyone laughed it off, and my youngest actually put 23 candles on the cake, so there were still a few lit. I told Zara to blow those out. She did, but she looked angry and started crying. Then she walked off. After that, it got quite awkward, and my sister, the mom of the girl who blew out the candles, got upset and embarrassed. She said that her daughter's a kid and didn't mean to do it, and she didn't think that Zara would act like this. We all calmed her down that it's not their fault. I talked to Zara and told her that she's being a selfish brat and making a scene. She's 23 and she's getting mad about birthday candles. Zara is still upset, and my other kids are telling me that I wasn't being fair with Zara. Am I the butthole for telling my sister that I am not the mother of her kids? I'm an 18-year-old woman, and I have an older sister who's 29 who has 2 kids, ages 8 and 4. Most of my childhood was spent taking care of her kids while she went out to parties and such. Now that I'm going off to do a course in practical nursing to boost my resume for university, she's asking me to put my future on hold and look after her kids so she can enjoy herself before I leave for university. The thing is, my mom warned me when I was young not to babysit or look after her kids because of her attitude, but I didn't listen. She also said that this might be my sister being jealous because she used to go to nursing school, but she made friends with the wrong group in the end and she didn't pass her final exam, so she dropped out of school. So everything came to a head yesterday because applications for the course started yesterday. I was talking to my mom about it, and my sister heard that I applied, got upset, and started shouting about how selfish I am, and how this is the only thing she's ever asked me to do. As if I didn't spend my entire childhood from age 11 to now looking after and taking care of her kids. I told her to stop being childish and that it's not my fault that she had kids. I'm not their mother. Her kids actually call me mom. They did for about 2 years, even when we corrected, and they still call me mom. Apparently, I should have said something sooner. My sister started yelling at my mom, saying that I'm her favorite because if I wasn't, she would tell me to put my future aside and help with her kids. Our mom told her point blank that she would never tell any of us to put our future on hold. She said that she gave all of us the same opportunity, and it's no one's fault but hers that she didn't use hers wisely. Now my sister has kids. My mom told my sister that she needs to take responsibility for her kids because no one told her to have them, and she needs to look after them. My sister started crying and left. Then my mom started yelling at me, saying that she warned me from the very beginning and I didn't listen. She said that I need to stop being a pushover because I lost my whole childhood when I was supposed to be outside playing with friends, going out and just being a kid. But I was babysitting as if I was the one who gave birth. She said that it's my fault that my sister became so entitled because when she made plans for me to go out, I would cancel to watch the kids. She's not wrong. I would always feel sorry for my sister because she knew how to manipulate me just because I don't like to see people suffer or be sad. All right, hold on. You're 18 and the kids were 8 when you started babysitting, so you were 10 years old. And your mom is yelling at you because you were 10 and you got manipulated by your sister? Huh? Why didn't she watch the kids? Why didn't your mom put her foot down and say, no, I'm not going to let you treat my 10-year-old as a free babysitter? Instead, she's mad at you and blaming you as if it's your fault? You were 10! Am I the butthole for getting intercourse elsewhere since my wife doesn't want to have intercourse anymore? A few months ago, I posted for relationship advice on another sub. Basically, my wife unilaterally decided that we are done having intercourse. She found out that she can't have kids due to a choice that she made before we met. And kids, apparently, are the only reason she was willing to have intercourse. I love my wife and I enjoy being intimate with her, but it was making our marriage untenable after 2 years of this. So I posted for advice. I got a lot of great support and suggestions about how to talk to my wife. I tried a lot of it. I started going for counseling for myself as well. But no matter how I approached her about our situation, she wouldn't try and see it from my point of view. Every discussion would end with her crying and screaming in my face that I'm trying to emotionally manipulate her. I then wrote her a letter outlining my feelings and asking her to come with me for counseling, to seek it for herself, perhaps to go see a doctor. I was kind and loving in the letter. The last thing I wanted to do was set her off. I worked on the wording with my counselor to make sure that I wasn't saying anything aggressive that could be misinterpreted. She read the letter. Then she scrawled across it with her red Sharpie, "Go get it elsewhere because you're not getting it from me." Then she walked out. I sat there for about an hour doing nothing. Then I told myself that that's exactly what I was going to do. We're both fairly successful in our jobs. I'm not super attractive, but I'm fit and a good talker. It took a while, but I met someone. We started out as just friends, but it became physical. I made sure that she knew that I was married. She's not interested in a relationship, so I guess that I'm a safe option for her. My wife found out because I didn't try to hide it. She was crying when I got home one night. When I came in, she asked if I was going to leave her, and I said no. She asked if I was cheating on her, and I said that I was getting intercourse elsewhere. She said that was cheating, and I didn't disagree. I asked her what she wanted to do. She said that I had to stop. I said, so are we gonna start doing it? And she said that I'm an irrational butthole if I thought that she would have intercourse with me after I cheated. What? I went to my desk and pulled out a photocopy of the letter I wrote with her answer in it. I went to have a shower and go to my room to sleep. When I woke up, she was sitting on the couch waiting to talk. She said that she reread the letter and that she realized that she hadn't before. She assumed that it was just a letter begging for intercourse. She said that she would go to counseling alone and with me. All I had to do was stop having intercourse elsewhere. I said that I'd be willing to pause my friendship until we saw a counselor, and that if I saw progress in our relationship, I'd break it off with the other girl. She said that she wouldn't agree to counseling without me leaving the other woman. It almost turned into a fight, so I just went for a run. Before I left, I asked her what would compel her to go to counseling if I stopped having intercourse elsewhere. When I got back, she still didn't have an answer. She couldn't even say that our relationship was worth saving. I don't want a divorce, but I'm willing to leave over this. I'm 28, and I'm not going the rest of my life without intercourse. She refuses to see my side.
Good evening, is this available? Yes, it is. Please leave me alone, we are sleeping. No more contacting, please. Thanks, appreciate you contacting me. I know I'm no longer interested. Please stop contacting me now. I will contact Attorney General if you do not stop the sex. Ooh, Caroline, oh, keep my name out of your thin mouth. What did Caroline do, Helen? She stole my broccoli, casserole recipe 8 years ago, and claimed it was hers. She claimed it was hers. No. Oh, you're not talking about it. Might be from Carolyn. No, she a crazy lady. She's a rotten recipe stealing bitch. Doris. No, careful who your friends are.
Can I get a
I'm full.
You guys like some more bread? Whoa, 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 whoa!
What's for dessert?